SAFUU, a 383,000% APY protocol known as the Titano killer. What does SAFUU stand for? Sustainable Asset Fund for Universal Users. Current circulating supply of tokens is 325,000. The market cap is around $69 million at present day. The actual tokens that are in circulation are quoted at about 329,000 right now. The coin price at time of recording is $209. Now, one quick disclaimer, this project is moving extremely fast. When it came out, it absolutely moon rocketed, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but all of these numbers could be way higher or way lower whenever you watch this video. What did the coin price start at whenever it first hit the market? $62. Percent gain so far in 7 days, over 330%. SAFUU Insurance Fund, also known as the SIF, value, $117,000 or 300 BNB tokens. Treasury wallet value, $47,000 or about 125 Binance tokens. Contract, audited by Solidity. Fork of Titano? Absolutely not. Yearly APY quoted by SAFUU, 383,000%. Okay, so what is SAFUU? SAFUU is a DeFi compounding protocol on the Binance Smart Chain, similar to Titano. It has automatic compounding and staking features just like Titano does, and you only have to hold it in your wallet, and it has the highest quoted fixed APY known to man right now, which again is about 383,000%. One disclaimer, in order for you to make that 383,000%, you must hold the tokens in your wallet for an entire year from day one, and we'll get into that in just a minute. So this could actually change after the first 12 months of the protocol is up. So if you're not in from day one, you're not getting 383,000% APY. So beware of this, because after the first year, the APY goes down substantially, and then even from there on, it goes down even more substantially. So they're quoting 383,000% for the first 12 months, from day one up to day 365. The ROI per compounding period on that is 0.02355%. Now, this compounds 96 times a day because they compound every 15 minutes. Now, with that being said, once it gets done with that first 12 months, that per compounding period ROI goes down absolutely astronomically. It actually goes down to 0.00211%, and then you compound that 96 times a day for the next 6 months. What that means is over the next 6 months, you would make 145% of your money, which is a long ways off from the 383,000% that you got for the first year. So the way that you do that is you do a very simple mathematical formula. For this one, it would be 1 times 1.000021 to the 17,519th power. Now the next tier goes down even further. It goes down to 0.00014% per compounding period. That's for the next 6.5 years, and what that equates out to be by that formula is 105% APY per year. Now this means that we are essentially 8 years into the contract, right? So for the next 5 years, that compounding ROI goes down even further. So now that compounding period goes to 0.0000211. And what that means is about a 101% APY per year. So I know I threw a lot of numbers at you and it sounds crazy, but just take all of that into account whenever you're getting into the project, because even though they're quoting 383% APY, that's only for the first year. And you can read this all in the white paper. So say you get in the 9th month, you're not going to be getting anywhere close to a 383,000% APY. The only people that are going to actually get a 383,000% APY are the people that were in from day one and held it for an entire year. Here's what they say their protection is for their investors. They said that there's a relatively low risk because of the SAFUU Insurance Fund. 5% of all trading fees go into that insurance fund. Anytime it's bought or sold, 5% of that goes in. They say that this helps sustain the rewards model, and I get that. They also say it helps to stabilize the price. I'm not 100% sold on that because they are minting a lot of new tokens, and they're actually able to mint 1,000 times what the circulating supply is right now. So how does that actually stabilize the price? Not so sure. So the SAFUU token always stays in your wallet, so that's relatively safe as long as you don't give your wallet credentials out to anybody. So those interest yields are actually paid directly into your MetaMask wallet. They say that the highest fixed APY known to man is one of the things that will keep the price stabilized and keep people making money. So they also rebase every 15 minutes, which is 96 times a day. That means that you have 35,040 compounding periods per year. They also have an auto token burn. So they call this the fire pit, and they say that this makes sure that the circulating supply does not get out of control. Now, one caveat to that is that they are minting tokens, so even though they are burning tokens, they can just remint them. So I don't know how that stabilizes price. I do understand how it sustains the protocol, but does that keep the price up? I'm not 100% sold on that. So they actually burn 2.5% of all SAFUU token sales. So anytime somebody takes profit or sells a token, 2.5 of that goes to the fire pit and it gets burned. Now, this was a very requested video and it is super pressing, so I'm dropping it as quickly as possible, but make sure that you stay around to the end of the video, and this isn't a ploy to just get you to watch the video. Like, you're seriously gonna wanna know about this because it's actually been linked to 3 different projects that didn't have a very good fate at the end of the day. So I'll show you why that matters, I'll show you how that happened, and you can make this decision for yourself. It has to do a lot with the team and the Solidity Audit of the contract. So it's very pertinent. Make sure you pay attention for this. I can't even stress it enough. I'm more serious than a heart attack right now. Make sure that you check into this before you decide to invest. Now, how do they substantiate the APYs? They say that they do it via the fees. So here's the breakdown of the fees. The sell fee is 16%. And the buy fee is 14%. That means that they're charging you more to sell your profits than they would be to get into the protocol. That's a typical thing to try to keep your coins in the protocol. I totally get it. So how do those break down? So for the sell fee, it's 4% goes to the liquidity pool, 5% goes to the insurance fund, 4.5% goes to the treasury, and then 2.5% goes to the fire pit. So for the buys, 4% to liquidity, 5% to the insurance fund, 2.5% to the treasury, and then again, 2.5% goes to the fire pit. Now I'm gonna touch on their roadmap just really quick. I'm not gonna actually spend too much time on it because this video is gonna be long enough, so you can go look at it if you like. So they are looking to get a CerTic audit and a CerTic KYC. They're doing an airdrop campaign, but I'm wondering, where does that come from? Is it like minted, right? Then they're doing the version 2 DApp and dashboard. Then they're doing cross-chain integration and a mobile app. Then they want to do a DAO and they want to create merchandising, so like merch products. And then obviously my favorite, you know how much I love these things, NFTs. Every project says NFT. Okay, cool, it's sexy, we get it. So how are they protecting their investors from a rug pull? This is what they said. There's no team tokens, the team takes no proportion of the tokens. The only tokens collected by the treasury will be accumulated through those fees. Liquidity will be locked for 13.5 years. Now, one thing I did find interesting on their site was there is a section that says, is this a rug pull? I really don't like that. I get it, you're like trying to be proactive, and there's a reason why they're being proactive in saying this now, and you'll see that here in a few minutes whenever I talk about the couple of very problematic things that I saw in this protocol. But I just feel like if you're not racist, you don't have to tell people you're not racist. So if you're not scamming people, you don't have to tell people you're not scamming people, right? That's just my opinion. It's just odd that they would have this massive section dedicated to that. Basically, if you got to say it, who are you trying to convince? And then there were also like 4 or 5 parts inside of their website separate from that they were talking about how it's not going to be a rug pull. Now, we will talk about what Solidity said about their liquidity being locked because that's not necessarily accurate. So let's talk about the insurance fund really quick and what that is and what it means. So it has around 300 BNB in it, which is only about $117,000. Apparently the staked coins are supposed to be backed by this SIF. There's 329,000 tokens in circulating supply right now. If you go and do the calculations, that means that there would be 77.5 tokens paid out per every compounding period. Basically every 15 minutes, they owe $16,800 and some odd dollars based on the coin price, and I think my coin price calculation was like $214 or something like that. It's obviously higher than that now, and by the time I get done filming this video and then dropping it, it'll probably be higher than that. This means that there's 7,438 tokens paid out per day, which equates out to $1.6 million. So how are they paying out $1.6 million if the insurance fund only has like 117,000? That's like 10x that. And then even if you add the treasury fund and the liquidity pools, they don't even come close to 1.6 million in all of them. So the reason why I talk about this in terms of USD is because we have to. The funds are actually held in BNB, so since they're held in BNB, you can't say, oh, okay, they have to pay out X amount of tokens, SAFUU tokens, because technically the rewards that they're going to be paying out, they're going to have to convert them from BNB to SAFUU. So, ergo, that's why we talk about it in the USD value. So as we talked about earlier, 5% of all trading fees go into the SAFUU SIF. So they say that the SIF keeps their holders safe by doing these things: avoiding a flash crash due to price stability, and then greatly reducing the downside risk. I don't necessarily think that there is price stability whenever you can mint 1000x of the tokens. They're in their contract, it says they can mint up to 3.25 billion tokens or something like that. So that's 1000x what the circulating supply is that they introduced to the market. So does that actually substantiate the market? I don't know, because at the end of the day, whenever they have 3.25 billion tokens, do you really think that they're all going to be worth $200? Probably not. They would be taking up more market share than Bitcoin itself. So let's just be real about that. So what does the treasury actually do? So the treasury wallet actually only has like $47,000 in it, and it's like 125 financed coins. The treasury kind of helps back up the SIF. So it's like the insurance policy for the insurance policy, but with only 47K in it, how much can it really back it up? I don't know. The treasury can also be used to fund new SAFUU projects and blah, blah, blah. So here's the explanation of the fire pit really quick, and I promise we're gonna get to the juicy stuff here in just a second. So stick around. So obviously we know that 2.5% from every transaction goes into the fire pit. So the more that's traded, the more that gets burned. But again, they mint it back so that they can pay out the rewards if it starts outpacing the SIF, the liquidity pool, the treasury, and all that stuff, which it seems like it will do pretty easily. They're touting this as like a deflationary measure, but the thing that makes it not so deflationary is the fact that you can mint 1000x what the circulating supply is right now. So are you minting more than you're burning? If you are, then it's not necessarily deflationary. So they also have this thing called the SAIL, the Safe Auto Liquidity Engine. So I'm not gonna touch too much on that, but I will just give you a brief overview. So essentially every 48 hours, this protocol injects liquidity into the market. So what I'm assuming is they're minting new tokens. So on every buy and sell order, a 4% fee is taken, and 50% of that SAFUU is sold into BNB. This actually creates a sell order and doesn't necessarily help the price pump. So that might be a little bit problematic in the future. So here's where we get to the juicy stuff. Like, this is the nitty gritty. This is the, Drew's secret sauce. Here's my words of caution. I'm gonna go over the Solidity Audit literally right now. So the Solidity Audit, if you go and look at it, and you can see it in the description, literally starts off by saying this exactly, and I'm quoting it verbatim. Please ensure trust in the team prior to investing, as they have substantial control in the ecosystem. Okay, now here's a breakdown of what the owners can do, and this again is taken directly from the Solidity Audit. The owner can toggle liquidity add and rebase functionality at any time. They can also add or remove blacklisted contract addresses at any time. They can also add or remove any address to the fee exclusion list at any time. They can update the pancake swap pairing at any time, the liquidity receiver address, the treasury address at any time, the SAFUU insurance fund address at any time, and also the fire pit address at any time. So they can literally change the entire protocol if they want to at any given time. Now here is the thing that is like the most like, right? The owner can swap all SAFUU in this contract for BNB and withdraw it from the contract to the treasury address at any time. So that's not the address that's locked. They're quoting an address that's locked for 13.5 years. That's the liquidity. That's not the treasury. So do with that information what you will. Another thing is the maximum amount of supply of SAFUU is 3.25 billion. So that means they can mint 1000x what they have right now. They're quoting in the white paper that reaching that 3.25 billion is supposed to take 13.5 years. But if this project grows and starts to kind of like spiral out of control, I don't think that's gonna take 13.5 years at all, and this is crypto, so that can happen. So there is also an additional treasury sell fee that is added on sells in addition to the base fee. So it would have been nice to know that and not have to look into the Solidity thing to figure that out. A swap back is performed on all transfers except for the ones that come from PancakeSwap. So that's basically a sell order driving the price down. So here's the last thing that is really like just sticks out to me. The LP tokens received are sent to a specified auto liquidity receiver address, and we recommend that the team lock these LP tokens. So they're saying that it's locked for 13.5 years, but Solidity is telling them, yo, that is not locked. Here's my second word of caution. The guy that created this project, his name is Brian Legend, but his name used to be Brian Seiler. So Brian Seiler was the CEO of 3 previous projects that actually went under and apparently ran off with people's money. I read the articles and I looked at all the coins, and I will put some of them on the screen, but it's just something to be aware of. So Twilix Web Solutions, TWILX, go look into that because that's his blockchain-based web solutions company. Fitrova actually rug pulled back in 2018 and was like not really upfront about the contracts that they had. They were supposed to be revolutionizing the fitness industry with this app, this fitness tracking app, and they said they had all these partnerships, and then it turned out that they didn't. So Tags Crypto Exchange, TAGZ, was a massive crypto exchange that basically just like lost all the money and went under back in 2020. Then if you look, you can see Clever DeFi was another project, the third project that he was involved in. And 2 of those previous 2 were under the name Brian Seiler, and then this one is under the name Brian Legend. Okay, so these Clever DeFi and now SAFUU is Brian Legend. But this is the same person, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So Clever DeFi said it had a 12-month lock on the funds. But somehow the funds disappeared before the 12-month mark, and Clever bottomed out and rug pulled within the past year. You can go check out the chart. I've got all this stuff in the description. Everything I'm saying here, you can find it in the description. Also, take a look at his Twitter and see all the articles from various magazines. So these are all paid articles. This isn't actually the magazine seeking him out and saying like, oh, hey, we want to write an article about you. All of these magazines are pay to play. It's just like buying your way onto the trending list on CoinMarketCap. Everything is for sale. So you can kind of tell this by the wording in them. It almost sounds like they're talking about like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, but it's this guy from Australia that has 3 projects that went under. It's odd. It doesn't make sense why they're like praising him, but all of his projects have failed. It's really weird. So look at the Global Millionaire and the Entrepreneur article. Those are the ones that I'm mainly talking about where you can see the wording. So again, this is just a word of caution. He obviously changed his name from Brian Seiler to Brian Legend. He actually admits that in one of his YouTube videos. It was an AMA. I'll drop the link in the description. You can literally look it up. Brian Legend, did I change my name? That's literally the title of the video. So he openly admits that he changed his name. He used to be Brian Seiler. Okay, cool. So do whatever you want with that information. Drew's just here to deliver the facts. Don't shoot the messenger. Now, with all that being said, I do want to thank everybody for showing up to the video. You guys have been showing mad support. You guys have been showing mad love. You've been commenting. You've been liking. You've been subscribing. You've been doing everything to support the channel. I appreciate it so much. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Make sure you're commenting any projects that you want down there in the comments section, and I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. So thank you so much for showing up to the video. I will see you in the next one.